you so much for joining me today. Coach Chancey here with Coach Trent, one of our elite trainers here in the Tannisbourne location. We are really excited to show you part 2 of our shoulder mobility. So I'm not going to talk too much because this guy's got so much knowledge upstairs. He's just going to be feeding us with tons of information to help all of that shoulder mobility, which majority of us have some trouble with. So Coach Trent, take it away.
All right, so first kind of part there was we worked a lot on that shoulder flexion there and restoring that range of motion. So now we're going to work on that shoulder, what's called external rotation. So our shoulder is the most mobile joint, as we talked about. It moves up and down like this, forward and back, but it also has an element of rotation. And that's normally that one component of training that we don't get a lot in our training, being able to get that mobility. And that's going to help with our pressing movements if we're having a hard time getting our arm overhead with pressing. That could be a big part of the equation there, opening things up and causing a lot of that pain or discomfort possibly there.
Because a lot of our members, they're probably, and myself included sometimes, find ourselves sitting, right?
Exactly.
We'll sit, we'll turn here, which that's kind of what you're talking about.
Right, into an internal
rotation.
Exactly.
And we're typing away, or we're talking on the phone, or we're driving, or we got our purse, or we got our kids, or we're grabbing groceries, and everything's forward, right?
Exactly, it's so true. So now getting that external rotation is going to be a big part of kind of balancing out what we get in life a lot of the times.
Great.
So we're going to start with that same test that we did last time against the wall, but now for external rotation. Feet slightly away from the wall, knees bent like we talked about before. Back and head is flat just like before as well. Now you're going to get your elbows right around shoulder height there, starting with your hands forward just like so. I want you to rotate your hands up towards the wall as best as you can, seeing if you can touch, but not letting your arms bend, shrug, or drop down in the process. So wherever that stops is we want to kind of find where that true range of motion is at with all those factors in play. So let's start with that.
Do it. And this, you guys, this is a true test for me. Like, I have had shoulder injuries playing softball all of my life, and a lot of this sidearm rotation for me, as well as kind of moving up into not just my trainer mode, but also sometimes the admin stuff that I have to do, sitting in front of a computer, gosh, driving from club to club, or driving from here to our other clubs in Spokane. A lot of stuff. So again, I am not joking when this is going to be a true test on me. So follow along. And we're going to have some fun today and really help open up that shoulder. And again, Trent's going to talk me all the way through it.
All right, so let's get the feet a little further away from the wall there, so the knees are in a soft bend there. Let's get the elbows closer to the wall there, just like that. We're going to get the back and head flat as best as we can there, so we'll get those shoulders down. That's perfect. So now we're going to see rotate those wrists, back of the hands towards the wall behind you. We'll kind of see where they're at there. Seeing where we're not letting that compensation happen. So definitely with that, I can see too that right side is even a little bit less than that left side, usually the case when it comes to that. So you can relax down there. So we kind of got a good starting point there. Let's see if we can open it up a little bit more.
Tell the camera if you don't mind, how far away was I probably from the wall?
Maybe about this far.
Okay,
and I'd say maybe this with the right side and a little bit less with the left. Just a little bit of a difference there.
So there's a little bigger gap on my right side than my left side. So which again, I'm right-handed when I throw, so that was typically giving me some problems post-college athlete, right, into some of those injuries and frustration stuff.
Definitely. Okay. So what this will be doing is not just going to be getting mobility, but mobility through proper activation of those muscles and actually a strengthening exercise. A lot of times with the shoulder, if we can actually strengthen in towards that end ranges, that actually will make it easier to get mobility, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We'll be against the bench here, laying down on the belly. We're going to do one arm at a time with that elbow right in line with the shoulder. We're going to pull that up as far as you can comfortably without letting anything happen, bringing the elbow down or shrugging it up towards the ear.
Just showing off. Look at this rotation here.
Just like that. And we're going to hold for 10 seconds. Making sure we're breathing and not holding our breath. Super important, like we talked about last time. And holding it. We're going to do that 3 times. Each arm, and this will definitely be a big burn going on through that shoulder blade. You feel that a lot going through that back of the shoulder blade area there. Thinking about that shoulder blade tipping like that to initiate the movement. Shoulder blade is going to guide the shoulder.
Okay.
We'll do both sides. So whichever side you want to start with there, let's make sure the alignment is good to start out with. So elbow is going to be right in line with the shoulder. Just like that. And you want to think about that shoulder blade tipping back and holding it. Good. You feel that through the shoulder blade right through here?
Yeah.
Perfect. I definitely can see Chance shaking a little bit there. This is not an easy exercise. Even though it might look easy, it's definitely deceiving there. We'll go about another 3-4 seconds. Good. Relax down, control. We'll do that again. So rotating out, think shoulder blade tips. Good. Keeping that L shape with our arm the entire time. Good. Just like that. Perfect. A little bit longer. Doing those holds. Back down nice and controlled. Good. Controlling that downward portion. One more time on that left side. Pulling that up. Good. Should feel a big burn going on still, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Woo!
Yep, there we go. A little bit longer. And relax. I could even see it getting a little bit more as you're going through that.
Oh yeah.
Go to the other side now. So we're going to switch and do the same thing with the right side. Only 3 reps here, so we're not getting a ton here, but the holds are really what we're after there. There we go. Perfect. Got about another 5 seconds there. Nice and controlled. Oh yeah, this one definitely looks even a little bit tougher than the other side.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yep. And then relax down nice and controlled. Control that eccentric portion, that lowering. And then back up again. Second rep here. Yep. That's definitely one of those things. I think 10 seconds is a good spot for Chainsaw to work in right now. Almost there. Back down nice and controlled. And we're going to do that one more time. Going again. We're fighting against gravity here, so we're kind of keeping that in mind as we're doing this. So this prone position is really going to be good for getting that strength of our shoulder and mobility in the process. Very good. Almost there. And relax down. Have you standing up now?
Whew.
How'd that feel?
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I was just doing like one set of that there.
Yeah.
We kind of feel all those shoulder
man.
blades are really having to work there to do that.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So we'll go back against the wall again. Feet slightly away from the wall. Soft bend the knees just like before. Back and head is flat. We're going to get those elbows right around shoulder height just like that. We're going to rotate up. Just like so. Oh yeah, that's so much better. Now we got on that right side. That's like this. Where it started like that. Does that feel like it's closer? That right side is even too. So close. Cool. And that's it.
Wow.
So think about the rotator cuff too and what its function is. We got those 4 muscles, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, subscap, teres minor.
Yep.
They need to all contract and hold the shoulder congruent in its socket, isometrically. They fire there to keep everything nice and firm there and steady so our shoulder doesn't move around too much because it's so susceptible to that mobility.
Yeah.
A golf ball and a golf tee type of analogy, right? It's got so much room for movement, which we want, good, but we want to get that strength in those end ranges like we talked about with those holds. And just doing strength will even increase your mobility in the process.
So would you suggest, because we've got that shoulder, right? So we've got shoulder here.
Definitely.
And things are getting tight in the front, right? So I've got a lot of tight muscles going on in the front.
Right.
So would you suggest even, because if we're seeing some of this protracted shoulder girdle,
Definitely.
to maybe lighten it up a little bit on the chest exercise, or if I do chest,
Sure.
should I do a couple back exercises? Instead of kind of 1-to-1, should I more have it maybe a 1-to-2 ratio to if I'm going to do 1 press, I need to be doing 2 pulls?
Possibly, yeah. And one of the things with the rotator cuff is you can do this pre-pressing movement as sort of an activation drill just to get something warmed up there for those pressing type of movements. Nothing too crazy, but just a set there. But then you could even do it at the end of a workout too to get a lot of reps in and really build that strength and pull everything back there, which is really going to set those shoulders in a better position there.
Because those shoulder muscles are so tiny. Right? So
Exactly.
you don't have to like, okay, how do I fix this? I'm going to get really heavy weight and I'm just going to smash through it.
Right.
That's when I usually have found, either with myself or other clients, when, again, I get my own way and I'm not doing the right things at the right time all the time, right? I'm trying to lift something really heavy and impress somebody to where I find afterwards I'm so much more injured because I was trying to go with way too much. And as you guys can see, just my own body weight. Just here with gravity pulling my arm down and me having to force it up. I mean, I'm not lying when I had a sweat stash going on. I was sweating. And I don't know if you can see it on camera, but Trent was trying to tell you that I was shaking. And those little muscles are just going, hey, well, we're not strong enough just yet. So just think about that. Like, if you're shaking on this at that moment, how much is your shoulder loving you when you're trying to pack on a bunch of weight and jam it up or pull it back? Like, it's probably going, whoa, like, and I can't handle that, right? Just like, think about that foundation of a house, right? So
true.
And when trying to build this house, the strongest part of the house is the foundation. And if your little muscles, the foundation, aren't working properly, that's when we tend to see that house kind of fall apart. Injuries start happening because we're trying to overdo it with way too much weight.
Exactly. That rotator cuff is such a big part of that equation. Like you said, those tiny muscles, and making sure that those are also strong to be able to support all of your pressing movements.
Yeah.
You'll notice such huge, and even be able to make gains with your pressing because you're not getting as injured and you're not hitting those plateaus. So you'll be able to push through and get a lot healthier because of it in the process.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Coach Trent, God, thank you so much for joining us today. You're
Thanks for
so
having me.
knowledgeable. This
Appreciate
is,
it.
again, part 2. If you missed part 1, go back to last week, about midweek. We started off with some overhead, right, shoulder mobility stuff to begin
Flexion.
with, a little overhead flexion stuff. So this was part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. We're going to continue the shoulder series as we go along. Because again, if you guys need anything, injuries, limitations, weight loss, muscle gain, Trent is your coach here at Tannisport, one of our elite trainers. Come on in, come see him, he'll help you out. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We really appreciate everybody. Move family, move tribe, move community. We miss you. We are open. We do want to see you come in here if you are comfortable. Thank you guys so much. And again, to all the first responders, medical and military, we really appreciate you guys putting your lives on the line to keep us safe. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.